on this amazing afternoon. Welcome to Own It. If you're new to the stream, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Cicely, aka that Cuban girl. And a little bit about me is I am a model, I am a TV host, I am a former Miss Cuba, and I have been in the entertainment industry for about 10 years, 10 to 12 years, and now I am a streamer here on Meet Me. So, this is my show, Own It. This is a show where every single week I am going to, first of all, spread the good vibes, right? Only good vibes on this show. I want to integrate my knowledge in the entertainment industry and bring it to this amazing online platform. I am going to be having a couple of amazing guests every week, and I'm really excited about my guests today because everybody on here has a unique story. Everybody has something very different to share. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be owning who we are. My intention with this show is that whether you're a streamer or you're a viewer, you leave this hour having a little bit more confidence to go into the world, having more tips about how to brand yourself, how to speak better, how to connect with people better, because ultimately that is why we're all on this amazing platform, right? We're here to connect with people and to bring people together. So, welcome to my show, Own It. Please, a couple of reminders. This is going to be a feature show very soon. So, I am going to ask you to, not have any profanity on the show, to not really have any controversy.
In Ireland can be slightly shortened to a man's name, and they call them Mert, which isn't cute. So when I created my profile, I wanted to kind of keep Smurf, but put a Y on the end. So it's not related to the Smurfs, but everyone thinks that it is, but it's not. So that's where kind of Smurfy was born. No one calls me it other than in the streaming world. And my family still call me Mert, which again is not cute.
I think it's actually really cute, but I thought too that it was because of the Smurfs.
No, it's not. And everyone that shares kind of when Plenty of Fish share my flyers, they always put a little Smurf on it. So I just go with it. I'm not precious about it. It's fine.
So you keep talking about Plenty of Fish, and I'm a new streamer, to be honest with you. So tell me a little bit, because you said you read POF, and I know Meet Me and POF work together. We're part of like the same, correct?
So yeah, so Meet Me own the platform. And it's the way I like to describe it because it can be confusing. I think some people think that Meet Me own all the other apps, but they're in partnership. So it's almost like you rent a house and you have the living room that Meet Me own, and then you have separate bedrooms for Plenty of Fish, Scout, and Zeus, and then we have a shared living room. So we use the living room to stream on, but then we are actually separate platforms, but we all go together in the live feature.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that because I'm sure people on here, some people are probably going to be a little bit confused, as I was too. Smurfy, so tell me a little bit, what do you, if you don't mind me asking, if there's anything that I ask you and you don't feel comfortable, please just say that
Yeah,
because I
that's
want
fine.
you to feel comfortable in talking about whatever you want to talk about. I want to know what's your background, what's your career, I'm trying to figure out how you went from whatever that was to now being a streamer and loving it, because I can tell you love it.
Yeah, I do. So I work in corporate. I've worked in corporate for over, 20 years. And I bring that to the platform. So I love to teach people the stuff. So I come from a background where I grew up. So I'm a procurement manager, just to answer your question, specializing in logistics. So I purchase, negotiate, and award contracts to logistics companies for the UK. So in my career, I come from a location in the UK that's quite poor, so we didn't have much, growing up, and we didn't get much access to education because of where we grew up. I was lucky enough, I left school at 16 with barely any qualifications, but I managed to secure a job working on a help desk, and from there I just was like a sponge trying to learn as much as I could about everything, and I managed to then be where I am now, where I'm managing multiple millions, 550 million, and sitting on a board in a boardroom with directors who are privately educated. So I'm big on giving people access to the skill set that I've learned in my career who may not have access to it. So I have a featured show on the app called Biz Smarts. We're just about to change it. I've got a new featured show coming. But we've done an 8-week training program, soft skills development program, that I brought to the app to teach people about leadership and networking, communication, use of technology. So I'm big on kind of giving back, not just in terms of the corporate stuff and that being my niche and my unique selling point, but also in terms of using my top badge to give back to the community. So I host things like streamer introductions, where people come on, use my platform to network and introduce themselves to the streamer world, because we benefit from the larger views that come through as a top badge. So I'm heavy into giving back. I do love the platform. I love the people that I've met on it. I've met a lot of them in real life as well. I had the benefit of going to Canada last year, and I met an abundance of streamers over there. And I just love everything about it. You have the negative side of the app and the trolls and all that kind of stuff, but we're big on protecting our peace at all costs. And I think when you master that, you fall in love with the platform and the people within it.
Yeah, no, I can definitely relate to that. So how does a corporate woman, first of all, empowerment, 100%. You are, I can tell you're on it, you're smart, a lot of times when people think of streamers, they don't think of people like you. And it's such a negative stereotype, right? Because
It
even me,
really is, and there is an abundance of intelligent streamers on this app. There, and every streamer is intelligent in whatever capacity. Of when people come into a stream and they haven't spent time in that stream, and then they have an unconscious bias about the streamer, that's what we need to start trying to remove. They're, not having this preconceived notion about who somebody is because they're on a streaming platform.
Yeah, 100%. So how did you go? I'm trying to dig a little deeper so people have a better understanding of how different streamers get into streaming, right? How do you go from corporate to streaming? How did that happen?
So I've been on and off the dating side of Plenty of Fish for years. Had some good relationships and some not so good relationships from it. But I was on the dating side, and it was actually my boss at the time, who I used to be friends with, said, "Have you seen this live feature?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Oh, you should do it. It's really fun." So I clicked on the live feature one day, and he was streaming, and I went in his stream, and he was sitting on his sofa with his stream really close, listening to some music. And I was like, this is boring. And then everybody that was coming in his stream, he wasn't interacting with. So I started talking to them like, "Hi, how are you? How was your day?" And it felt a little bit, I don't know whether I'm quite old in comparison to most, but it felt a little bit like MSN, back in the 90s, back in the good old days. And I thought, this is quite cool. And then the next day I went into Grand Finale stream. Now he left the app, he's coming back. And he was doing morning motivation. And it was this abundance of positivity that came out. And he was giving affirmations, and he was talking about, the word of the day and things that we can do differently and how to be the best version of yourself. And I just became almost a little bit fascinated. Like, I didn't even know this was on here. This is a whole underground world I knew nothing about. So from there I favorited him, and then I would go into his stream every day for a couple of days. Then I went across to someone else's stream, and it was different. It was more like just jovial banter. So I walked in and they clicked on my picture and they said, "Oh, she's got glasses, she probably won't talk." And I was like, "I'm just trying to see." And then we had this kind of like fun joking backwards and forwards. So then I kind of had this one stream which was super positive, and almost inspirational. Then I had this other stream which was super fun, and we were having a few drinks and music was playing. And then from there I just started creating this amazing network of different people that I would listen to them in someone's stream and go, "Yeah, I'm gonna come over and see you." And I'd favorite them and I'd go over. So I'd done that for about a week, and then I streamed myself. But I never got in anyone's boxes because I was super nervous. It was more scary to me jumping in someone's date box than it was to stream. So I hit the live button, and my first stream I had over 2,000 people in, and we were speaking about men's mental health. So my son has got ADHD. He's now a grown man, but I was a single mom for most of his life, with no help. So we were talking about men's mental health, and the box was like 20 people deep trying to get in to talk about this. And I just thought, this is amazing. that I'm able to give a platform where men can come and feel safe talking about the things they don't feel like they can talk about elsewhere. So I'd done a lot of topic streams initially, and then as I streamed more and more, and I used to stream and everyone talks about trucker Smurfy, because I'd always be in my kitchen with my trucker hat on, no ring light. And it was, when I look back on pictures, it was a whole mess. But then over time, I started buying backdrops and I bought a ring light, and then everything kind of just developed from there. And then I started bringing the skills that I've learned to the platform. But we do things, we do quiz nights. So I think it's really important to have your niche, but do other stuff as well. So we have quiz night, we have streamer introductions. I host a lot of auctions on the app. I hosted the first Plenty of Fish Olympics last Friday, which was 12 contestants. There could only be one winner. I'm doing World Kindness Day on the 13th of November that anyone's welcome to join, which is a day. It's a global holiday, but it's a day to really talk about which streamers do you love and why do you love them? Because there is a lot of negativity with the trolls on the app, and this is a day which is just about positivity. Come in, give us 3 to 5 minutes of talking about your favorite streamer and why they're your favorite streamer. And then hopefully it will network and build favorites that way. But I love hosting auctions, more so for the networking side, because you're able to connect streamers that may not come across, they may not run into each other's paths in the streaming world. So I love it for that reason. So a lot of the skills I've learned in my career, I bring to the app, but we do have drinks on a Friday night and music and a lot.
Yes. I love that. We're going to take a quick pause. You guys, if you're just tuning in to the stream right now, welcome. I am Cicely, aka That Cuban Girl, and this is Own It, where every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we bring people together to talk about their brand, their confidence, but also to kind of just share our uniqueness and what makes us unique as people and as streamers on the app. And hopefully, even if you're not a streamer, this show can help you in your own personal life moving forward and give you some inspiration. I love it, Murphy. So you were talking about auctions a little bit. And like I mentioned to you before, I am a new streamer. Can you explain to all of us who are new what are auctions and why
Yes.
they're so
So
important?
auctions has developed quite a lot over the years, but ultimately it's a versus style where you have a host and a list of streamers. So I have an auction that I'm hosting this weekend on Sunday called the Brunch and Bubbly auction, and Krabby's actually in it. So basically what happens is you have a chance to win the streamer for a name change. So if you are the highest gifter in that stream, you do a 1K buy-in on the host side or whatever their bid fee is, and then you bid on the streamer. If you're the highest bidder, you then can have a name change for however many days the host determines that them days should be, your name should be changed for. Different people have different rules. My rule is always the name change has to be appropriate, especially if people are going for top badge. You can't really have an inappropriate name. But it's just a way to network, and it's a fundamental part of the app now, the same as battles are. A battle is similar to an auction. So an auction is just one person in a lineup. The highest bidder gets to win you, in effect. And then a battle is you're trying to win against your opponent. And then that's developed somewhat recently. And now you have battle royales where they're over 3 or 4 days. So the app has shifted quite a lot. And I think it's really important as a streamer that you move with that shift, because if you stay stagnant, you are then not going to be sustainable on the app.
Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that, because
Okay.
definitely it's all about progress. It's all about evolving. It's all about bringing, doing new things and fun things in your stream, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the love. Please make sure you're giving my guests love as well. Thank you so much, Smurfy. I want to ask you, for any new streamers, if there was one thing you wanted to tell them, what would it be?
So I actually host Top Badge training for Plenty of Fish. It's once a month, and I do it with Top Badge best friend. But my one piece of advice is something I'm recycling from someone else that gave it to me. So when I had my Top Badge training, I was blessed to have Riot, Mercedes, and Manu deliver my training. And Riot said, "Be unapologetically you," and that is so vital. The people that will be drawn to you will love you for you. Don't try and be someone else. Don't go to other people's streams and see how you work in your stream and then go and try and mimic that in your stream, because you can only keep that mask up for so long, which is why you do see such a shift in potential friendship groups, or some people that you were with at the beginning you're not with now, and that's okay. Be unapologetically you. And then I just want to add to that, to be genuine and authentic. Do things because you want to do it for the love of doing it, not because you're hoping for something in return. The same with gifting. If you're going to gift out of love, not out of agenda. It's super, super important, because you will never then be disappointed with the gifting side of the app or the friendship side of the app, because you're living in your genuine, authentic self at all times.
I love that. That is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let everybody know what, I know you've mentioned it, but just to refresh people's memories, when are your shows, what times, what they can expect?
So this Friday I have streamer introduction. So if you are a new streamer, a returning streamer, or a smaller streamer, and you want to grow and build your network, hit me up on IG. It's once a month, starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays is my featured show from 4 p.m. Eastern. Currently Biz Smarts, about to be Tricks of the Trade. I'm just waiting for my banner, which I'm hoping is going to come this week. Then we have World Kindness Day on the 13th of November. Please hit me up on IG if you'd like to be part of it. Then I have quiz night on a Wednesday night. Well, it's nighttime for us, 2 p.m. Eastern for you guys. What else have I got? I have an abundance of auctions coming up. We have an auction on Sunday, the Brunch and Bubbly. We have the Thanksgiving auction in November. I have an array of things for Christmas. We have cookie cutting. We have Santa's lost his button. We have a Christmas fair, and we have a Christmas auction. So hit me up on IG. Everything's always posted on my IG, and I stream every day. So come through, and if anyone needs any help, I'm more than happy to help anyone in their streaming journey.
I love that. I love that so, so, so much. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're just tuning in now, this is Own It, hosted by your one and only, that Cuban girl. Today, as we do every Tuesday, I have guests who come in here to share their individuality, to talk about their uniqueness and why their brands and their streams are so unique to themselves and who they are. I also give you tips with things that I have known in the entertainment industry, since I've been doing it for a long time. So welcome to Own It. I am hoping that you can own who you are every single day, and that this show brings some inspiration to your life. Smurfy, I do have, let me ask you something, because I know I haven't asked any of you guys this before. I don't know if you have time, and if you don't today, that's totally okay. I know I didn't ask you beforehand. I was thinking about bringing you and Krabby at the end of the show and asking you both one question to each. That's a really important question to me. If you cannot do that, that's okay. I will ask it to you right now.
No, I'll wait. I want to hear what Krabby has.
You
I know
wait?
Krabby. I'll wait. I want to hear what Krabby has to say.
Okay, awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much. You guys, please stick around till the end of the show, because I will be bringing Smurfy and Krabbit together back at the end of the show for this question that I want to ask them. Okay. Thank you so much, Smurfy. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome to Own It. I know I just said it, but welcome. I know there's always people tuning in at all times. This is That Cuban Girl, and every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we get together here only on Meet Me to talk about your uniqueness. What makes online streaming so unique, and why is important that I bring these amazing guests to talk to all of us about what makes their brand unique, what are their stories, why are they streamers. I think that the streaming community is such an interesting and unique community. Me, myself, I am a former Miss Cuba, I am a model, and I'm a TV host, and I've been in the entertainment industry for many, many years, but streaming for me was never something that I even considered, because for me it was something like, yeah, that's only for gamers. I was not educated about streaming, and now that I'm streaming on this amazing platform, I have found it to be so uplifting and beautiful, and I have made really good friends on here. Thank you so much for the love. So I love that on my show we get to share, right, like our uniqueness, and hopefully if you are viewing, and even if you're not a streamer, you can get something positive out of this show. So I want to share with you all, before I bring on my next guest, I want to share with you the quote of the day. I love this quote because I am all about success mindset lately. I think the older we get, hopefully, right, we start being a little bit more curious about being successful. But I mean, success doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. For a lot of people, success means a lot of money. For a lot of people, success means being a mother. We all have different notions of success. But I do find that whether success for you means something different than to me, there's one thing that we all have in common when we talk about success. So this is the quote of the day, and I will ask you to stick to the very end of the show because I'm going to be giving the tip of the day, and I'm going to be bringing our two guests together for a final question. Every single week, I'm going to be doing this from now on, bringing our guests at the very end of the show, ask them a question, different always, to see what their answer is. So the quote of the day is: success is the sum of small efforts repeated day after day. And I love this quote because it doesn't matter who we are, it doesn't matter what kind of career, it doesn't matter, like I said, whether we're a stay at home mom or we're, like Smurfy, a corporate woman, right? If we don't do small efforts every single day repeatedly, we will not be successful. I think that when we're trying to be successful at anything, it takes consistency. It takes getting good at it by repeatedly doing it. If we don't do it, if we don't ride a bike every day, right, when we were little kids, we would have never learned how to ride a bike. So it doesn't matter who we are, whatever we are and we decide to do, let's commit and let's do it repeatedly every single day. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome. If you're just tuning in right now, we are in my show, Own It. I am that Cuban girl. And in this show, we talk about confidence. We talk about the uniqueness of our brands, our stories, and what is it really that makes us unique, particularly in the streaming world. And I love interviewing my guests and letting them tell you a little bit of who they are and their story. So without further ado, I am going to welcome to today's show another streamer who, very interestingly enough, is also from the UK. So Krabby, if you could please request the box, there he is. Amazing. Welcome to the show, Krabby.
How are we
Hello.
doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you perfectly fine. How are you?
Awesome. I'm really well, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you actually in the UK?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a UK vibe up in here, definitely tonight. I am in the UK at the moment, yeah. It's the time is like it's about half 10 for us, so I think it's like what is it, half 5 for you at the moment?
It's actually 2:30 p.m. for me because I'm
Oh,
in
okay. Oh,
California.
okay. Pacific time. Okay, cool. Uh,
Yeah, no, I
great.
love it. I had no idea that you were both from the UK. I so appreciate you both to being on my show today.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's cool.
That's awesome. So, Krabby, tell me a little bit about yourself. So, you're from the UK. What else?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to go into with regards to different things. Obviously, I like planning like stuff, like and like, writing stuff down, and then like I've gone on some shows before, and I've written like a full story about like 10 pages long or so, and I get through it, and I'm like, I didn't even say anything that I wrote down, but like I'm like an overthinker, like I overthink stuff. Do you know what I mean? And just make sure every box is ticked in every area. So but yeah, look, I mean what would you
That's
love?
okay. Look, I
I'm a
can
new
ask
top
you.
badge, by the way. People don't know already. A new top badge, got a top badge in August this year. I've been streaming for about, I'd say probably about like, I'd say about almost 2 years, really, technically. So, but yeah, it's definitely a journey every moment, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, I love that. I need to tell people before we got on this interview today, we had this conversation over DM and he was like, "Oh, I'm a planner. Can you please tell me what you're going to ask me?" And I was like, "Listen, I'm more of an intuitive host. Like, I'm not a planner. I'm trying to be better at planning, but I mean, I plan my shows, my segments, all of that. But the questions, I find them, I just like to flow with people. I can definitely ask you questions. No worries about that. Okay."
You're welcome to. Yeah, I'm an open book, obviously, as well. It's just obviously whatever you want to know. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so basically, so you're saying you've been a streamer for 2 years. So obviously you were streaming over the pandemic, right?
Yeah, so a bit similar to Smurfy as well. Shout out to Smurfy, absolute OG. He joined at the back, like,
He's breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's just me.
lockdown sort of. Enjoyed like at the back end. I didn't join exactly during lockdown, so I just, it was the back end sort of thing. So yeah, but
Okay, so what's your background? What do you do in the UK?
yeah, so I mean, I don't obviously go into specifics in regards to like work and stuff on the live stream, but you know, I work full time. I just basically I used to stream it as like a hobby, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like it's I do a range of stuff on stream. I'm very like content driven, like, and obviously I'm just kind of like trying to understand where your influence kind of lies in regards to what you put out into the universe. So yeah.
So when people come on your stream and they talk to you, what is like one of the most common things that people say back to you? Like for example, just to give an example, for me when I stream, everybody's usually like, "Oh my gosh, you have such positive vibes. You're so positive. You have so much energy." What is like that one thing that people tell you?
That is a good question. I'd like to think I have a range of different things. Like, so, like, you know, one week we could be, you know, talking about something deep. The other week we'd be doing games. Like, ultimately, I came on the platform to entertain people, to like basically offer that positive energy, that positive vibe. You know, good vibes only kind of attitude, and yeah, like I feel like we do like a good job of it, like with shows and things, like doing different content heavy sort of stuff. Like it's good fun. Like ultimately, you come on, you want to be like not say anchor's a bad sort of word for it, but you want to be like a carrier for a good time for people, right? You want people to come enjoy it, feel like they're like involved, you know, as well. Like involvement is important to an extent, but yeah, just generally like interesting topics to talk about in the stream. So yeah, one word, um,
Or one,
energy,
or
great,
one, or
great
one
energy.
sentence. Mhm. Yeah, somebody said great energy in Krabby's stream, and I agree to that. Well, we'll talk about this later, but I actually watched one of his episodes for his show. I have something I'm going to say about that later.
Okay, cool.
But he is great energy. Hi everybody, welcome to the stream. This is That Cuban Girl, and you are joining my show Own It every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for being here. On my show Own It, we own who we are, right? I'm Cuban. Krabby's from the UK. We're different. We got different backgrounds, but we're owning it. We're showing up as online streamers, loving what we do, and hopefully sharing with you some inspiration, some tips, and sharing based on our backgrounds. At least that's what I do based on my background, sharing my knowledge with all of you guys, and hopefully brighten your day a little bit. So thank you for tuning in, for being here, for the love. Make sure that you show my guests a lot of love and you check out their streams, okay? Krabby, so all right. So I understand it's okay. You don't want to talk about your job or anything. I'm just trying to understand how you go. And I love asking people this question because for me, becoming a streamer was not even remotely in the back of my head 2 years ago, right? Or like even a year ago. So how do you go from doing whatever you're doing? Like, is streaming a big thing in the UK, or how did you come across this online community?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think streaming has become more kind of socially sort of acceptable in regards to like the online sort of dating side of things. I'm plenty of fish streamer, so obviously I joined the platform for like meeting people, dating sort of thing originally, and then obviously came across the live streaming, and I think nowadays like online dating is normal. Like I think it was quite taboo like maybe like 10 20 odd years ago. It's like, what, you met someone online, like are you okay? But now it's like everyone just kind of does it, right? It's like the norm. Like, but how like the live streaming stuff come across, I think, you know, you see it a lot. You see it a lot now. I think there's a lot of stuff in society now where there is, you know, videos. There's reality shows. There's that sort of market for it. So I feel like it's like, you know, definitely a current thing that's going on in society with the live streaming. And yeah, I think it's definitely popular.
Was it like a friend that brought you on the app, or?
Do you know, yeah, that's a great question, because like I try and think about how originally like I joined, and originally it was just because I wanted to meet people and like socially interact, like, that compulsion, because I live away from like my hometown, and like basically I was like, I want to meet people, like I want to like see who's out there, and I put that effort. And I think I did it like on a couple of sites. It just didn't work. Like, it just wasn't the right place. And then obviously I found Meet Me sort of side of it, and I was like, this is great. And went live and just built that community up. From if you're a streamer, you go live. You build up following, you build up people. You get around, you meet new people, new faces like yourself. Like you're a very interesting person with a lot going. You had a lot of history of things going on, so it's fantastic to sort of like meet a variety of different people like in the world.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of streaming too, right? Where like I have actually interviewed on my show a couple of streamers that are not like they're just these amazing human beings that, and I was explaining it last week, right? Especially coming from entertainment, people that stereotypically would not be like your streamer or your like TV personality, but they do such a great job at what they do on the online platform. And that's what I love about streaming, you guys. It's like anybody could stream if you have the willingness. If you if you have something to share that you want to share, anybody could do this. And I love that because I feel like it's so not discriminative.
100%. Yeah, it's definitely an inclusive place if you want to come on and you want to like build that confidence or understand yourself a little bit more too. Like it's definitely a learning. Every day should be a learning like day, really. You should be able to kind of question things, learn more about yourself. That's definitely something that I've learned throughout like the last like year or two, like in the streaming world.
So Krabby, so why Krabby?
I know, right? It's funny because it's like the complete opposite, I originally joined, right, and I was confused because I actually thought it was like I saw seats like I think it was like Mermaid 24, Dolphin 3000, like all these like usernames of sea creatures, and I was like, oh, I'll just be Krabby then. I'll be the crab. And I joined. I didn't realize until I seen like John or like Sophie come in my stream, and I was just like, oh, I didn't need to be Krabby, but I thought, I'm going to keep it, So yeah, that's like kind of where it all originates from.
Are you by any chance a Cancer?
Do you know what? Believe it or not, like I'm not, but I think I've got a Cancer in different planets. You have different signs for different planets, right? Don't they, in astrology? So your sun sign is the sun, and then obviously the moon is a different sign, and so forth. So I think I've got Cancer in one of those planets.
Okay, I love that. And I also love the name of your show, which we're gonna get into it in a little bit. But I want to ask you a little bit more about your brand. I think it's really interesting because I did notice you have your whole jacket thing going on, and so do I. And I have two questions for you that go hand in hand together. First of all, is hosting like a thing you want to do?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoy that. I think that's something like even like at an early age, I was the one that was hosting like the board games. You know what I mean, with your like family and stuff. Like, it's the one that takes control. It's like, right, I'll ask the questions. You guys just play. I just want to like make sure the game rules all work and stuff. So it's definitely a passion that I enjoy doing.
I love that. So with your whole branding, since we're gonna go into branding in a little bit, so how did you? I guess the question is, what would you say makes your brand as a streamer a little bit different?
Yeah, that's a good one, really. I mean, what is my stream different to someone else's? I mean, that is the golden ticket, really, because it's like the niche that you want to bring that someone else isn't bringing. And you know what? Like, I think what sets people aside from the difference is how much you really want it. Like, how much do you really want to drive to try and achieve something new? And that new thing is going to be a challenge. Like, and it's consistency with this new idea or this thing that you've got an idea, you want to work on that idea, and sometimes even in 3 months time that idea might need to be reviewed and changed. I think definitely in this game everything has to be changing constantly, like, and you have to learn to adapt to that in the best way possible. So yeah, what makes me stand out is probably like the consistency. Like fortunately with my job, like I've learned quite good time management skills, and that is kind of quite crucial to the success as a streamer, you know, especially on this platform.
100%. And I'm going to give you an idea, and I have no idea if you do this already, but for example, I am terrible with time management, with planning. If you had a segment in your show that taught me how to do that, you sold me.
There you go. There, that's a good point. That's a good point. There you go. You got a selling point. Time management is effective. It definitely is. But
Yeah, no, I love that. So for me, I feel like I asked you that question and everybody usually answers it differently. But for me, I feel like we're all unique, we're all different. Even our backgrounds and where we come from, that already on its own makes us unique. Sometimes we tend to overthink it a lot with the whole branding thing, right? Like, oh, what makes me different? And what I've learned is that the smallest things already makes us different. Like you bring your own sauce, I bring my own sazon from Cuba, it's ultimately the same thing but different.
100%, 100%. I mean, the competition is hard, not hard. I mean, the competition is healthy competition. We all want to strive to be our best people, and like, that's just that common interest, and that we've all got that in ourselves in a way. Like, we've got a common want to strive to be better people and achieve more. So, it's good.
Okay, so Krabby, tell me a little bit about your show. Tell me, because I'm a guest on your show tomorrow. What the heck am I getting myself into?
I love it. Yeah. So the show is featured. It's Not Too Shabby with Krabby. It's actually a trivia game show. So basically, you come on. It's 5 rounds of different questions. But I used to do like a games night on a Wednesday, and there was just so many games. And I thought, what can I do by pulling all these games into one night? So we've got a game show, Not Too Shabby with Krabby. Is on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 8 p.m. for us in the UK. I'm not sure what time that would be for yourself.
Noon. Is that 12 for me?
Oh, okay. So it's lunchtime. Yeah. So yeah, the rounds of questions. There's some fun ones. There's like a catchphrase round. There's like guest artist, like a music round. Like I give you a track of the artist. You just have to tell me. What the artist is that sings that song. And then yeah, there's a couple of other rounds, and then the final rounds like timed. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. Come check it out. I mean, we've got you tomorrow, but I think the big thing really is that one of the contestants that loses will be taking the L and doing a forfeit, doing a live forfeit. So yeah, so that's going to be fun, exciting to see who's going to be the loser. But the winner's going to get crowned victorious. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's why I was asking you. Like I was reading the chats and I was like, oh gosh, there's theirs in this. Oh my goodness. Okay.
We got to raise the stakes.
I love that. I love that. Krabby, anything else you want to tell everybody? You've been such a joy to talk to. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And hold on, let's take a pause. Everybody that's just tuning in right now, welcome to Own It. This is That Cuban Girl. We're headed towards the end of the show, but I've had an amazing time talking to my beautiful, wonderful 2 guests today. On this show, we talk about what makes us unique as streamers and as people. And I give you tips and we share tips, right? To help you, whether you're a streamer or not, to have more confidence in yourself, to really own who you are, whatever that may mean to you. So thank you so much for being here. Krabby, you've been so good to talk to. I so appreciate you and your time.
Yo, you're welcome.
Is there anything?
Yeah, just completely interrupting you right there. I just wanted to say quickly, I am doing a singles night on Sunday. So if anyone is looking for love and wants to get involved, please hit me up on Instagram, drop me a DM. I'm doing like a live take me out sort of show where the girls leave their lights on and the boys come in, and basically if you're looking for that right guy and he's the right guy for you, you just got to leave your light on. And then you're going to potentially go on a virtual date with them. So I'm doing that on Sunday. So if you want to come check it out and that's your single, please come and drop me a DM on Instagram.
I love that. We have tons of comments in the chat. Like Cannon says, I'm on my way.
Yay, there we go. There we go. Please come on. By the way, on Sunday, it is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is at 10 p.m. in the UK. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully finding that special someone for you. So.
Finding the one. Anything else you want to let us all know? I know you just plugged in your show, but social media, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, look, you can find my Instagram, my social media is on my bio. So if you just want to click on that, scroll down, click the button, and then drop us a follow. But yeah, you'll probably see seeing a lot more of me, and I can't wait to have you tomorrow. But I won't go anywhere because I know that you've got a special couple of questions coming up, right?
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much, Krabby. I'm gonna see you in just a few minutes, and you've been a joy to talk to. You guys, please stick around because right now I'm going to be giving you the tip of the day, and also I am going to be bringing back Smurfy and Krabby for one last question. What would it be? Do you think what it is? Do you think it's going to be an awkward question, or do you think it's going to be an empowering question? I don't know. Think about it, but they're going to be back in just a few, okay? So if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. This is That Cuban Girl, and this is my show, Own It. We do this every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and the whole purpose of this show is to help you and also help myself, because I'm learning every single day through my guests and through you how to own it. How do we go about life owning who we are, owning our uniqueness, owning us, and bringing that into our branding if we are at online streamers. So my whole goal with this show is to bring my experience as an entertainer, right? Model, former Miss Cuba, ringer, all of this, and help you with tips and anything that could inspire you on this amazing journey that we call life. Right now, thank you guys in the comments. Thank you for the love. Right now, I'm going to go into the tip of the day, because I did promise you guys last week that I was going to be talking a little bit more deeply about branding. And branding is something that I want to touch on in shows to come, because at least in my experience, it's not something that I learned like in 2 days. No, like it's taken years, literally years. I wish I knew branding like when I first started modeling, but I didn't, and it's okay. It's something that I feel like it's a never ending learning process. But today I do want to give you a few tips. I want to give you 5 key points, and eventually in another show, I'm going to come back around and keep touching on branding. So today I want to share with you 5 key points as to, that are really important when it comes to finding our unique voice and finding our branding. And I'm going to do my best to explain them quickly to my own knowledge based on my experience, right? So the first key point is to determine your goal. In anything that we do in life, we have to have goals. We have to have intention with what we do. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to know it all, right? Like if you're a streamer, perfect example. If you come in here and you're streaming, no, you don't need to have the perfect looking studio. You don't have to be perfect. You could be shy. You can just go ahead and do it, but you do or should have a goal and an intention when you do that. Whether it's like Smurfy was saying, to build connections, or whether it's like Krabby was just saying on his show on Sundays, to help you find the one. So when it comes to streaming particularly, what is your goal? What is your intention? My goal, my intention is, I love doing this. I have a big passion for hosting. I have a big passion for connecting with people. And I am a curious human being. Like, I love talking to people. You see this is who I am every single day. So this is what I bring to the platform, right? Because this is what I love doing. And I love, by the way, I love when people tell me they're shy or they don't know what's going to happen. I love that, because it gives me an opportunity to really dig deep with them. So determine your goal and your intention. What is it that you're trying to accomplish when you're doing anything? The second key point is your unique value. Thank you so much, guys, for the love and support. Your unique value. We all as human beings have value. We all have uniqueness. I know I talk about this on the show all the time, but I want to make sure you really understand it, because it's true. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something as simple as where you're from. I'm Cuban. That makes me unique, right? I have a different upbringing, different experiences. So one of my values would be, well, I can eventually in one of the streams teach you how to cook a Cuban dish, right? That's one of the values that I bring to the platform, since we're talking about streaming. But in your branding, in total, in general, it could be what kind of value, what do you know, what are your skills? It doesn't have to be what's my diploma in, or what's, what do I do for work. It could be, you're a stay-at-home mom, but you love baking, so you bring value, and your value is you love baking, you know how to bake, right? So that's something that makes us unique. So what makes you unique? Dig deep. Sometimes we overthink things, and we don't really need to. Sometimes the answers are literally right there in front of you. Thank you, Cannon. The key point number 3, which also goes hand to hand with this, is your personal story. Your personal story. What's your story? What makes you unique? And this is a reason why I love asking my guests what their background is, where they come from, why did they decide to become streamers, why did they go from whatever it is that we're doing. Like Smurfy went from the corporate world to now streaming, and it's something that's completely different, but she's now adding value in her streams based on her experiences. So that is your personal story. What is your personal story? Are you Dominican like Cannon? Are you like, what do you do? Are you a mechanic? What's your story? What are your hardships that you've gone through? I have had the pleasure of talking to a couple of my guests who have been disabled, and they have made that they have owned that story and been able to share it on the streams, and people love them because they're owning who they are and their personal story. Thank you guys for all the love and support. If you're just tuning in, this is That Cuban Girl, and this is my show, Own It, that we do every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, where I interview amazing fellow streamers, and we all share our personal stories, what makes us unique. I give tips of the day, quotes of the day, and in just a few minutes, I'm going to bringing them back on the box to ask them one final question. This is something that I'm going to continue to do every single Tuesday, so please make sure that you stay all the way to the end of the show. So that was my key point number 3 of the tip of the day. Key point number 4 would be your character personality, right? And this is something that I love, because for me, I am the perfect example for this key point, so you can understand. I am Cuban. I go by That Cuban Girl. This is something that took me a long time to figure out, like, what was my branding? What am I about? For a long time, being a Latina, I hid my curls. By the way, today I'm not hiding them. My hair was dirty, so I just threw some hair on. But if you come to my daily streams, I rock my curls, honey. So, for a long time, I I was hiding who I was, and I didn't know what my brand was. And then one day, I can't even remember how, but I was kind of like, okay, what makes me me? Okay, I love yellow. I randomly had this yellow jacket that I loved because I love yellow, right? So I have bought it, and I had it in my closet, and I was like, okay, I have curly hair, which I had never rocked before. Okay, that's cool. That makes me different. That's my brand. And I am Cuban, which is something I'm freaking proud about, because I, grew up in Cuba till I was 14 years old. So my personal experience is different. So this is my character's personality, okay? My jacket is part of my branding. I love yellow. I also want to look professional, because this is also who I am. I'm a professional. I love having fun, but I'm also professional, right? So what is your character's personality? Another good example of this is a lot of streamers wear wigs, or they have different makeup that they do, and that is generally who they are, and that's part of their character personality. And the key point number 5 is brand statement. Thank you guys for all the love and support. The brand statement basically is, what is your mission? What is the mission of your brand? For me, specifically for this show, the mission of my brand is to own it, right? And that's also the mission of my brand in general. I'm all about inspiration. I'm all about women empowerment, or empowerment in general. But I'm also all about, like, owning that you're Latina, owning that you come from different backgrounds, and that's okay, that you're different, and that's okay. So what is your brand statement? And that's usually about one sentence, in my YouTube channel some time ago, I used to always end my videos with a word, a sentence that said, always remember to lead with your heart. And that's what I always did because that was part of my brand statement. So what is yours? This has been the tip of the day when it comes to branding. I hope it helped you a little bit. And I am going to be inviting my two beautiful guests back on the box so we can finish this show today with the best energy. And one final question I want to ask them. Hello, welcome everybody. As we wait for them, I got you, Smurfy. Where is Karabi?